A new tool that the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, Sullivan, has been experimenting with lately is what we're calling the Probabilistic Snowfall Experiment. And we're looking at a new way for how we talk about how much snow is going to fall, rather than just the 3 to 5 inch field goal posts that you've seen in the past. We're trying to go into a little bit more detail into what your actual probabilities are of seeing snowfall. So in this example, today is December 22nd, 2016, and we're looking at a snowfall that's coming in on Friday. So the web page is weather.gov/mkx/winter. And what you can do is you go to this page, and the first part you'll see here is 3 different categories: the expect at least this much, the most likely snowfall, and then the potential for this much. So this is kind of your best case scenario, where this is, all of the forecast models that we're looking at are at least putting out this much snowfall. That's kind of our lowest end of what we're expecting with the situation. This high end here is basically the worst case scenario, and this tool is really useful for our emergency management partners who a lot of their time they spend trying to prepare for what is the worst scenario that could occur with an event. On a day-to-day basis, what you're always getting from us is the most likely forecast for what we're going to get, even with temperatures, what are the chances for rain, things like that. And that's the case with this middle graphic. This is the most likely scenario for what we're expecting. So most times this image will be about halfway through these two, the low end and the high end. You'd expect it to be somewhere in between. But it kind of depends on the situation though. So for this scenario, just to give you an idea of what this looks like, here's what the expect at least this much graphic looks like. So most of the area is kind of in that inch or less kind of area. Maybe a little bit of a chance of that nothing will happen down in the southeast part of Wisconsin. But up in spots like Montello or Fond du Lac, at least an inch. If you click on the middle part here, this is our forecast for what we're expecting to occur for the snowfall, so 2 inches there. And then the high end, what's the worst case scenario? So at the really far end of what could happen, 3 or 4 inches. So that's what we're looking at for this event. Some other things, when you scroll down on this page, if we have any ice, you'll see it in this little graphic here. The next thing here is what are the chances that the snowfall is going to be greater than a certain threshold. So this is 0.1 here, really high chance that there's at least going to be some accumulating snowfall. You go up over an inch, chances are a little bit lower, but still pretty high that we're at least going to see that inch. You get to 2, and it becomes a little less confident that we're going to hit that. And then go on up above 4, and then 6. You can see clearly no chance we're going to be above 6 inches with this. So a lot of the decision makers who have these certain thresholds where they're trying to see, is 6 inches, are we going to hit that? This helps with their decision making for an event. One more thing to look at down here is the chance of the snow accumulation. We have a spot in every single county where you can look at what the exact numbers are at those points. So say you're in Juneau, at least that's the low end at the 1. Most likely scenario is 2 here, and then the high end for there is 4. And then you can go over and look at the different thresholds. What's the highest chance that you're going to be in a certain threshold. So for Juneau here, it's in this 2 to 4 inch range. Right here you can kind of see up at the top 2 to 4 inches. And then as you go on down, there's also an exceedance graph, where if you click on that and you go back to Juneau, you'll see the chance you're exceeding at least tenth of an inch, 1 inch, and then 2 inches there, and how the chances go down. So this is a really neat tool that we're experimenting with this year and last year, and plan to move forward with it in the future. So please provide your feedback on this. Thank you.